Welcome to my vertical obsession. Today we are talking about Marked by My Alpha Stepbrother on DramaWave. And this one stars Cameron Porras as Caleb Hawthorne and Jenna Gilmer as Tessa Frost. The synopsis for this is two rival pack alphas unite through marriage, making their children unwilling siblings. When he saves her from bullies, a mate bond ignites. She plans to break it before the next full moon. He bets she'll fall first, using a secret to bind her under one roof. Rivalry turns into forbidden love. So now my overview of it is that after running away from bullies, Tessa runs into the boys' locker room and right into Caleb. He agrees to help her and get rid of the bullies, but that leads to them finding out they're fated mates. Before they can deal with this, Tessa gets a call from her mom to meet her at her new stepfather's house. When Tessa gets there, she runs into Caleb again, and the two find out that they're siblings. Tessa is determined to stop them from being mates, and even talks about breaking the bond, while Caleb embraces the bond and teases Tessa. The two make a bet that if Tessa doesn't fall for Caleb by the blood moon, that Caleb will accept her rejection. If she does fall for him, which he believes she will fall first, they will have to accept the bond. Tessa works hard to prove she doesn't want Caleb and will never fall for him, while Caleb is doing everything in his power to make Tessa fall for him, all while trying not to let their parents or anyone else know that there's something going on between them. After all, they are step-siblings. Even after they are found out, Caleb refuses to let anything happen to Tessa and would kill anyone in his way. Once their parents find out, it looks as if they are doomed. Tessa will be banished and Caleb sent overseas. Only the blood moon has come and a family secret is revealed. Now, the one thing Caleb's dad was trying to destroy is the only thing that can save his son. Tessa accepts the mate bond and tells Caleb she has been in love with him for so long. This saves Caleb and allows their parents to see they were wrong. The parents accept Tessa and Caleb and allow them to be together. So I don't have much in the way of talking points. So the two big things I had was the fact that Jenna and Cameron need to stop being so good together because they seriously have such amazing chemistry. After all, this is their third one they've done together. I also said that I could continue to watch more with them, and I may mention how one of the first ones that I had seen with Cameron was the one he did with Jenna called My Stepbrother's Dirty Secret, which is on Real Short. It's like I had seen the ads for his one on Short Max called Billion Dollar Baby, but I'm pretty sure I watched the Stepbrother's Dirty Secret first. And I had also said how at one point when I was watching this, I did question if this was just that one, My Stepbrother's Dirty Secret, but with werewolves. But they are both different storylines, so I was like so happy about that one. But the funny thing enough is that both characters Cameron plays for the two different series had the last name Hawthorne. I was like, that's interesting. Fun coincidence. And then the other thing that I had was about Caleb calling Tessa kitten. And for some odd reason, which I never found out, and I'm not sure if it's just all in my head or not, but I swear he had another character that called someone kitten in another series. I just can't figure out which one, or again, if it was all in my head and it was someone else that I just thought it was Cameron saying it. But I really feel like it was him. So it kind of drove me crazy a little bit, but I never did figure it out. So if anyone knows, please let me know, because it was something that I was just like, am I making this up, or is this something that is out there? But I also did point out that hearing Cameron say kitten was just so sexy. I don't know what it was, but just I loved hearing his character call Tessa kitten so much. I think it was just the way he said it. And I was trying to like back it up too, because I was like, there are certain actors who have like certain phrases that when they say them, it's like, oh my God, that's so sexy. But I couldn't think of anyone other than Ian Somerhalder from Vampire Diaries when he says, hello, brother. And I'm like, I know there's so many others, but that was like the only example I could come up with. So like I said, I didn't have many talking points because there wasn't really much when it came to the series that I could point out or say about. And I'm like, I feel like there should have been more good things in there that I could have pointed out. And I wanted to have more, but I just couldn't figure it out. But there was nothing really bad to say about because I really enjoyed it. So going into my overall thoughts of this, I said, I really enjoyed this one. It was a nice little cat and mouse type series. As I had mentioned, they had done a similar one with My Stepbrother's Dirty Secret. So for them to do it again but within the werewolf genre was really fun. And I had thought Cameron had done a werewolf series before this one, but it doesn't look like it. I couldn't find one on his IMDb. So again, I think I made that up in my head. But for some reason, I fully remember him as a werewolf, just like I fully remember him using the nickname Kitten in a series before. So I think it's like my brain is just making things up. But either way, it was fun to see Cameron as a werewolf, and I thought he made a good wolf and would love to see him do more supernatural type series for sure. When I had done my review of Daughter of Zeus, I had said that Cameron as a Greek warrior was one of my favorite roles, but I think I have to add werewolf to this as well as being one of my favorite roles for him. So I would love to see him as a werewolf more and as a Greek warrior or Greek god again. So please, can we continue those? I also really love the wolf attributes for this one. It's mostly just nails and teeth. There were some special effects in there with some powers in showing the wolves, but I liked how subtle and yet fearing the nails and teeth looked when Caleb and his dad took out their wolf. Wasn't over the top or too CGI. It was just enough. And I love when series do that. You get the point of them being a wolf and it's not like so crazy or it needs to be like overly CGI'd. So I like when they can do things more practical. And I also said that when it comes to the story, it always tends to be similar no matter what the app it's on. So sometimes it's hard to judge because there are so many step-siblings stories out there, which is a true thing. And I think one of the things that helped make this stand out a bit more was that there was more of a cat and mouse within the series. There was an added element of danger and ruin. Didn't fully take over the plot. It helped make the plot a bit more down to earth and not over the top. I also think Cameron and Jenna played off each other very nicely in this one. I feel like they leaned into the will they only to pull the rug out from under you at the last minute. Their characters were so close and going to give into that bond and then they stop. Or most times it's Tessa who stops because no matter how much she wants to give into that bond and be with Caleb, she knows it will not end well for either of them. For her, she will be kicked out of the pact and left to fend for herself. This is all she has and she can't risk losing that. You see this nearly come to be when their parents find out about them. Tessa is said to be taken away to become a breeder because she has disgraced their family's honor. Tessa's mom even said Tessa was no longer her daughter, so that fear and idea of being kicked out wasn't for nothing. It was a real fear and possibility. Caleb believed that nothing would happen if they were found out. He didn't understand the real fear Tessa faced because he was an alpha and the heir to the Hawthorne pack. He was a bit more reckless, but still cared about Tessa and her well-being. He liked the game he was playing and didn't get the harsh reality of it until he was told Tessa was being sent away. He was told he was being sent away too, but he cared more about Tessa and how she was being kicked out like she didn't matter. He even tried to tell them that he was the one to blame and to punish him and not Tessa. That is when it finally hit that all of this was something to worry about. He wasn't going to let Tessa go. He was going to get her back even if it meant he was to be kicked out of the pack too. As long as Tessa was safe and with him, that was all that mattered. And honestly, thank God for the blood moon, because if it was not for that, they might have been exiled. The blood moon showed the curse Hawthorne men have, and it nearly killed Caleb, but also at the same time not sure why his father didn't tell him about this curse to begin with, because his father kept telling him, you need to find a mate, you need to find a mate, and Caleb just kind of thought that it was his father's way of being like, oh, well, if you want to be alpha, you need a mate, not realizing there was another motive behind why he kept saying that. And I had said that Caleb might have understood why his father was so insistent on choosing a mate for both himself and for Caleb. While choosing a mate for his father was about honor, it was also about survival. Since Tessa was Caleb's fated mate, she was able to save Caleb from the curse. It also showed their parents just how much each cared about each other and how they were willing to sacrifice for each other. So that's kind of my overall thoughts about the whole series. There was a lot in there, but I loved this. It was great. It was so fun getting to see Jenna and Cameron working together again, especially since not long before this one came out, their one Unreal short, Vicious, had just come out. So they had that one and now this one. So it was great to see that they had like two new ones almost back to back on the different apps, which I do have that one in my queue of ones to talk about and review. I just haven't finished writing that one up. So that's the only reason why this one came first, because I was just like so excited about about this one that I just had to do it. Because I think I've mentioned this before, but I really love the werewolf series. Those ones are always so fun to watch, and I love to see how each one comes out and what they do with the different storylines. So I tend to kind of cater to some of these more supernatural ones from time to time. But yeah, so I love this one. Would highly recommend it. It was really good. As I've mentioned in the past, I'm not the biggest fan, like the whole stepbrother trope or falling in love with a stepbrother. But depending on who the actors are and what the storyline is, I will still watch it because sometimes they're just too fun not to watch, especially if it's two actors that I really enjoy watching together. So like Jenna and Cameron here. So going into the rating for this one, I gave it a 7.8 out of 10. I actually kind of forget why I gave it that because I have it written as one I had was for the writing. And I feel like there was something in there that I felt could have been a little bit better. I just can't remember what it was because I didn't actually write it down as to what it was, but maybe it's just simply the whole stepbrother trope. But either way, it was still such a good story. I loved it. Chemistry was great, and I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and so great. I think I've said that a couple of times, but but you get my point. So as always, would love to hear your thoughts on the series, what you liked and what you didn't like. If you are enjoying this podcast, please be sure to give it a review. Love to hear your thoughts. This has been Marked by My Alpha Stepbrother. I'm Megan, your host. This is My Vertical Obsession. Until next time.